Okay, there's people on Facebook that are on a Cricut page that are asking how to do transfer paper to vinyl paper. My husband bought me a big old packet of vinyl paper. It's the long one. This is what it is. It is a long sheet. I have to cut it in half to fit in my Epson printer. I have an Epson ET 4750. It prints the design on it, and then you can transfer it to a shirt. So the first thing I've got to do is I've got to pull a piece of paper out of the packet, and we've got to cut it in half. So what I do is I fold it in half. I mark the line so I can cut it in half. Put the Cricut thing up first. Grab my cutter that I have. Put it in the cutter. Put it on that fold line. Make sure the blade's all the way down to one end. Put it on the fold line. And we cut across where the fold line is. And you have two sheets. Okay? One trick I've learned and doing these print and designs is that you need to take a regular sheet of printer paper before you print your design. Because yes, they say to measure, that you can measure on the board, but I take a regular sheet, just regular printing paper sheet, and print it out to make sure it's the right size and looks the right size. Okay, and make sure it has everything that the Cricut's supposed to detect on the paper. Okay, when you go into Design Space, a lot of people are having problems with the print and cut. I have a canvas paper. I have a canvas board. I go into my uploads. I'll pick a picture that my husband just put on for me last night of Stitch for his granddaughter. And let's see if anything comes up, because Cricut has been acting funny. It's coming up on certain things and it's not coming up on certain things. There it is. I'm going to put in Stitch. He's drawing with crayons. He's cute. He's for our granddaughter. He'll go on an apron probably. What I'm doing right now is, hang on, let me flip the screen. I'm getting the size. And I go in to make it. It'll tell me if it's too big. That's the size right now that it's showing that it's going to be on the mat. Okay, so it's big enough to fit in the parameter of the vinyl paper that's going to go onto an apron or a t-shirt or anything. You can actually make it smaller, because if it's for little kids stuff, I tend to make it a little smaller. So what I do is I go back to canvas. I'll size it down. Hit make it again, hit replace, and then it'll size it down. Now, first thing I do is I hit print, because I want to see what it's going to look like on my printer. So I'll hit print, and my printer's connected wirelessly. So I'm going to hit print. And it prints out the design. Once it's printed out the design, that's what it's going to look like on the paper for the apron, t-shirt, whatever I put it on. So I'm probably going to put it on an apron, because I have an apron down here for my granddaughter that's going to be for the kitchen, and I'm going to put on it Grandma's little mess maker. And what it'll do, instead of the black box, it's not going to cut out that black box. What it's going to do is it's going to take the little eye that it has. Once I print it on the vinyl paper, I'll show you. It's going to take the eye that it has, and it's going to cut around these bleeded lines. So give me a minute. Let me get this loaded. I'll get it printed. I'll show you how it works on the Cricut. All right, I'll be right back. It is on the mat. See the little black box? The Cricut design, the Cricut maker has a little bitty eye right underneath these two little spots. This little box down here. There's an eye in there. It has a light and an eye that senses the design. When you click on continue after you've printed your design, it's going to go to continue. It's going to read and everything, and it's continue. Right now it's thinking about it. It's going to go into continue. You're going to hit popular. You're going to hit iron on. It's going to ask you to load it. Okay. Now, this screen is wild because here's the press. You're going to press the go button. Okay. Now it says detecting pet sensor maker, and what it's going to do is kind of really cool. It's going to see the little light turn on. Right now, it's detecting the print. It's mapping out where it's got to cut, and it's going to map out the whole design. If your sensor doesn't turn on to map out that design, that means it's not in the proper black box. Meaning that it's not going to probably detect it, not going to cut it, not going to give you the option to cut it. It has to have that black box around it. And once it's done, it says detecting tool. It'll go into detecting tool, and it'll come back, and it'll go into cutting. And what it's going to do is it's going to cut just around everything in the design. It's going to cut the crayons. It's going to cut the hearts. It's going to cut stitch with the hearts. It's not going to cut the black box. It's going to cut everything inside the black box. Just one of those things. It's going to cut what's in the black box. So if your Cricut designer is not letting you print and then go to continue and then offering you where it's detecting it, that means you don't have the proper box around it for it to detect it. Alright, thank you. I'll show you what it looks like here in a second. It should be almost done. It's still cutting it. I'll show you what it looks like when it's done. It's pretty cool. It just comes off the mat, it comes off the thing, and then you got to place it on a garment or a t-shirt or apron or a bag. You can place it on anything, and it's a heat press. It's done. So that's what it looks like. It's just that simple. It's cut around the crayons, around the hearts, around stitch, and when I go to heat transfer it, all that'll come up is just the design. Alright, bye. Okay, this is Stitch. That everybody's keeping asking about how we do this. This is the vinyl. This is that printable vinyl my husband buys for me. I love the stuff. I've used it many times on different shirts, different outfits, different ideas. What you do is you have your weeding tool. You get under one corner, under the vinyl, and very, very carefully get under one corner. You don't want to do the whole thing with the weeding tool because it'll tear it to smithereens. Then get your spatula and get under there and just kind of slowly go around where the cut lines are, and it'll take and pull him up where there'll be certain ones like the hearts, because they're connected to stitch. You have to be very, very gentle, and I'll show you. You got to take your time because it will pull and it will tear. And if you want to be very, very accurate about it, you don't want it to tear. Then you see how it just flimsy, real flimsy and everything? Lay it on your apron, center it where you want it. Usually I try to center him in the middle. The hearts, you just lay everything on there. Now, you do the same with all the little hearts and little stuff on here. Take your little weeding tool, get under where the edge is, right before the line cut. And you really can't see the line cut, so you got to be very, very careful. Because, like, again, you don't want it to tear. And you just place your hearts. I've had one tear And it's very, very hard to get it back together because this is a different material than the regular vinyl. Once it's torn, it's torn. So just take your time on this one. Be very patient with it. I'll show you what it looks like once it comes off of that vinyl. I'm going to get it straight on here. My granddaughter loves to play with paint. She has her paint and she has her stuff here. She has paint here. She has paint at Mommy's house. She has paint at her other grandma's house. I'll show you what it looks like once it comes off. Here, let me pause you for a second. Looks like off of the vinyl paper. That's basically what it is. Okay, he's stitched. We're gonna press him on, and then we're gonna put Grandma's Little Mess Maker on there. All right, bye. Everybody on Cricut keeps asking what type of vinyl, glitter vinyl, everybody uses. Well, my husband found a company called Frog Vinyl. It's actually really good for the glitter vinyls. It weeds really, really, really good. It's one of the best I've found so far besides 651 vinyl. And they have some really good vinyls, but the Frog Vinyl from this company, and there's another company that I have that has really good vinyl that weeds really, really good. He's bought 2 different companies' vinyls, and I love both of them because they weed really easy. This thing, I set it on the Cricut setting for glitter vinyl, and I mean, this is how easy it comes off. It peels. It literally peels. It peels right off. I mean, I just did that in 1 second with just pulling it one spot, and it just peels off. Let me weed this out, and I'll show you how to put a stitch on the apron and this on the apron, being that they're 2 different things. All right, give me 1 second. Okay, ladies, this is the finished project. See how cute it looks? It's that printable vinyl plus the glitter vinyl all together. 1 apron for my granddaughter, for Easter, for coloring, for painting, for whatever she wants to do. It's basically says Grandma's Little Mess Maker, and it has a stitch on it, drawing crayons with crayons. Okay, this is what it looks like when it's done. Thank you. It's cute as can be.